Anyway, fastest 15 minutes in social media, fastest 15 minutes on the internet, fastest 15 minutes anywhere. It's only 15 minutes because that's all y'all can really tolerate anyway. All right. My name is Judson Powell. I forgot about that. All right. I want to talk about something that's, well, it's a spiritual thing. It's a spiritual journey, or it's a spiritual revelation, spiritual enlightenment. I don't want to say uh, uh, nothing that kind of like interferes with everybody's uh, psyche right now, or with your spiritual being right now. But so now cancel out everything I said. But the thing is that right now we are being we're being guided spiritually by the feminine energy. Um, and so the feminine energy is like very important, and it's everywhere. That's why you see very few um, you see very few men getting elevated into positions um, that are higher positions in government and industry, etc. Most of those people are women. Now, anybody that knows anything about how businesses or corporations or anything like that run on a day-to-day basis. The way that they run on a day-to-day basis is the women. They're the secretaries. They're the ones that make the appointments and do all that. I mean, if you really check it out, the majority of people in those positions who keep things going are women. Okay, now let's talk about black women, and they are ahead of this spiritual journey. Why? Because they have insight to spirituality just naturally. Women are naturally spiritual, more so than men. So they can get in touch with spiritual issues. That's why they go to church. That's why all you see in church is women. You don't see no men. You see old men like me in church because we scared we gonna die and we want to go to we want to go to heaven. But that's it. Other than that, it's not a lot of kids. Definitely, I mean, I could think of few things that when I was a child that I could. I mean, I like going to church just to play. Because when you're younger, you get to go to Sunday school at our church. So when you went to church, they would send all the kids to the basement of the church, and that was Sunday school for us. All right, so that's how it went down in my life. So I really never really liked church or going to church or anything like that. It was just like something that you had to do. And then when you did go to church, it was like, oh, I'm going to church so I could play with my friends or run around and get toys and all that kind of stuff. So that was it. Now, the difference in what's going on now and what's going on with religion, and once again, I like to say, get out of religion. I hate religion. Religion is the worst thing that happened to our race. Religion is the worst thing, the absolute worst thing that could have happened to our race, because we still got people believing in these religions, and we still got more religions being created on a day-to-day basis. So, I mean, seriously, you go on any of the social media platforms, there's all kinds of people on there representing different things that are not possible or not even true at all. Okay, so now let me explain myself and where I get these things from. Okay, so now there were two teachers that I gleaned, and I listened to everything that these guys created. One was C. Freeman L. C, the letter C, C. Freeman L. All right, look him up. And if you find any of his videos and stuff like that, especially when it comes down to the zodiac. He was literally a expert, and but like so unassuming and so humble that you would not know that he possessed all that knowledge, because he ain't gonna tell you. Anyway, but he's an ancestor now, so he went on to be with the ancestors. And once again, C. Freeman L. The second person is probably more famous, but Bobby Hemmett. But what people don't realize, a lot of people don't realize, unless you listen to all of his tapes and all this kind of stuff, that he was C. Freeman L's student. So C. Freeman L. taught him. So in the progression of things, that's how it went. Now, the things that they taught were Moorish sciences. All right. So everything that they taught C. Freeman L. taught basically was astrology and Moorish science. Now, why Moorish science and why all of this stuff? Now, there's another brother, and his name, I believe that his last name was Robinson. All right, I might be wrong, but once again, as with any teaching that I do, I want you to go back. If you don't believe me, or if I'm saying something wrong, or if I don't have all of the research, then send me to get the research. Don't argue with me. I'm not going to argue. I stopped arguing with people like a couple of years ago. You know why? Because most people, when you arguing with them, they don't even have the prerequisite knowledge to be in the argument. See, you got to study it. And most people, when they start talking to me, I tell them, okay, well, go study. Don't just say, oh, you're wrong. Well, tell me why I'm wrong. That's what I want. So then I can go and I can check it and I can investigate it, and then I can study, and then I will have peace of mind for myself, and that my truth will be either condemned or exonerated. That's how it works for me. All right. So anyway, so these master teachers, and one of the things that they always taught was that before something happens, okay, before there is a human intervention into the spiritual realm, right? There will always be a precursor. There's going to be something that's going to happen, or there's going to be some kind of movie, television show, something that everybody is connected to, right? There's going to be something that you can say, well, go look at that, or that this person did this or this person did that, but why did they do it? Or why was this movie like one of the most spiritual movies ever was Avatar, that and so it was always because what it was truly the avatars were really the filmmakers were trying to show these as being real people. These were people, but he couldn't tell the story if he just made them people, right? And then the Matrix, because we do live in a matrix. We do live in a matrix, whether we realize it or not. And that's why I always do these things about parallel universes and all of this stuff going on at the same time, at the same moment, but there may be one or two things that are different from the moment, and that's what separates the universes. Because my universe and my world is not your universe and your world. What you experience and what I'm experiencing, and the only time we come together is when we do communicate, when we talk. All right? So that's why, just to say, oh, you're you're wrong. Okay, so why? or what's going on. So anyway, so now we've come full circle, and these four sisters have been portrayed in at least three music videos that I know of. All right. And so these sisters have spiritual power to bring the feminine energy back, because we know that 1,200 years ago, the feminine energy was taken out. We know that between 5,000 and 6,000 years ago, all of the feminine energy was removed. Women were the first slaves. Women, when they call prostitution the oldest living, profession. In the Quran and in the Bible, there are levels of women. A woman can, be a wife, a concubine, etc. Harlot. So why do you put these distinctions on women for no reason? There's always a reason. So as time moved forward, right, all of these classifications for women expanded. And then the next thing that really occurred was that not only the enslavement or the ownership of women, because women were property, women became property. So because they became property, they had no power. Their master, their owner, was the one that controlled them. They had no power. And then later on, when Catholicism started to rear its ugly head, so we have the Trinity, which was stripped. So this is what it really was all about. They removed Aset / ISIS. And then they take ISIS and they make it a. Look at what's going on. They take ISIS, and what do they do with ISIS? With the name ISIS, they make it, a terrorist cell. And that's literally our Queen Mother. So if I take, and it's Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day to the mothers, but if I do something spiritual to remove all of the women and all of the mothers, because remember, Aset, I saw another thing, and it bothered me so much because people don't realize Aset is the catalyst. She is the real catalyst for everything, for the entire history of the African people, whether it be Kush, Kemet, Nubia, Ethiopia, whatever have you. Our origins and the cradle of civilization are all because of a woman. So what the powers that be wanted to do, they knew the power of these women, and they got rid of them. Fastest 15 minutes is up. I'm gonna do a part 2. You gotta hear this. You gotta hear this. Love you.